Hello, my name is Michelle Goldberger, and I'm the president of the Smart Working Company, a consulting and training company in networking. And I'm also a BNP Paribas Mixity networking trainer. We're here today to talk about corporate women's networks and best practices sharing. We're here today to talk with Valérie Bouillon-Delporte, who is the former corporate marketing manager at Énergie Automotive. Can you tell us a little bit more about which networks you've been involved in?
I'm part of several corporate women networks. The most important one being Les Ailes de l'Auto.
Right.
Les Ailes de l'Auto is a corporate women network for women working in the automotive industry.
Okay.
And I'm also a member of a board of Les Ailes de l'Auto.
And I believe they had some experience also with Renault, correct?
Yes, last year we launched together with Renault, so one of the biggest vehicle manufacturer, their own internal corporate women network called Les Ailes de Renault France, in association with the corporate women network Les Ailes de l'Auto.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what kind of events and activities your network has?
We try to organize many sort of events, speakers' lunches, networking cocktails, in order to give the opportunity to meet many different corporate women.
What kind of benefits has this brought to you for your career being involved in the Internal Women's Network?
I will give you, Michelle, a very simple example. Last year we created for the first time a one-day conference, and I was in charge of the organization with other members of the board, and I was in direct contact with top executive manager, such as the CEO from Valeo, the CFO from Peugeot Citroën, the general manager from Mercedes-Benz, who all agreed to take part to this event as speakers. And being in contact with these top executive managers helped me a lot to build confidence and to give me more credibility on the automotive sector.
Can you give us some tips or advice for women who are members of their internal women's corporate networks?
Okay, most important tips is try to participate to at least 2 events per month. Remember, women at the initial stage are often very shy.
Yes.
And participating in physical events helps a lot to develop the network and build confidence and credibility as well.
Exactly. The last thing we'd like to ask you today, Valérie, is what is your vision of the future for women's corporate networks?
I'm a very positive person, so I think corporate women network in a very short term will be a very natural thing. Today it's special, it's new, tomorrow will just be a given.
Today we're here with Marie-Laure Le Magares, who is the former International Marketing Director at SAP France. Marie-Laure, thank you for being with us here today. Can you tell us about the network that you've been involved with?
Yes, so I was one of the co-founders of BWN at SAP France, so say Business Women Network.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of the events and the training or the programs that your network provides for the members?
Right, the networks provide a mix of meetings, networking events, workshops, and from the topic it can go from professional issues like there's a merger between SAP and business objects. How do I do coming from business object to integrate SAP?
Exactly, because the best way to integrate is through a network, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
That was very useful in that case.
Exactly.
It's informal.
Can you maybe expand a little bit for us about some of the benefits that the network brought you for you personally and professionally for your career?
For me personally, I was amazed to meet so many interesting and really interesting women, and I really felt that they were, in the majority, underestimate their capacity and their strength. And it gave me confidence as well, myself. That definitely looking at role models, understanding what was the difficulties of this woman, seeing that mine were not so difficult, and learning from them, really. That helps a lot in everyday situation, either your own behavior,
Yes.
or the behavior you have with your colleagues, with your managers, it changes because it's really relationship between people that changes. That's for me. But I think everyone is looking for something different in a network, and some women might need something else.
Maybe you can give us some tips or advice on best practices when you're involved in a women's network.
I would say the best and most important thing is to get the communication flowing from the organizers to the members and the members
Yes.
to the organizers. By any means, surveys, intranet, whatever you have, but keep that communication flowing to know what
Right.
are the concerns.
Exactly, keep the channels open. And lastly, Marie-Laure, I'd like to ask you, what is your vision of the future for women's networks internally?
I think it's bound to expand. It's natural for men to network. It's natural in the US to network. It has to be natural in every other part of the world. And starting by a women network will help women to get together in confidence and to learn how to network as well.
Exactly.
And then they will use it every day, and they will grow networks as well.
We're here today with Linda Buisson, who is a Global Tax Senior Manager from Deloitte UK. Linda, thank you for being with us here by telephone today. So Linda, can you tell me a little bit about your network that you're involved in?
I'm part of the UK Women's Network, and the Deloitte Women's Network actually has long-standing networks in the different member firms around the world. And I would say the most long-standing ones are probably the Canadian, US, and UK ones. I'm part of the UK Women's Network, and the Deloitte UK Women's Network actually has chapters in the major UK cities, so Manchester, Birmingham, so on. But I'm actually part of the London chapter.
So can you tell us a little bit about what kind of events, activities, or training programs your network provides?
They typically do speaker events where they have senior female partners come and speak about their experiences within the firm. They also have evening sort of learning and cocktail events where they bring in some special guests, and they're actually in the process of starting a mentoring program for women.
Maybe, Linda, you have some tips you can give us and our viewers about what are the best practices to have when you're a member of a network.
I think it's very important for women's networks to be focused on business issues and not, trying to fix men or women, either way. And I also think that it's very important to have men involved so that they can really experience for themselves what it's like to be in a woman's shoes within the corporation, whereas they would be in a group where there's probably a majority of women. They would really see what it's like.
So Linda, lastly, we'd like to ask you, what is your vision for the future for women's corporate networks?
My vision would be for there not to be necessarily women's network, but really probably what I could call communities of practices that are more focused on business issues rather than, separating women. I think it's very important for women to be considered part of the business and for the inclusion of women not to be considered as an additional side project, but an integral part of the reason why businesses will be successful in the future.